Hello, travelers! Welcome back to my channel. My name is Becky, and it is time for theme park travel tips. Yay! Well, if you're new here, hi, my name is B.nycum. I am an MVP travel agent, a certified Disney adult, a universal theme park enthusiast, and a wife and a mom. And I am here for you to give you tips on things in the theme parks. So, welcome. Today is good. It's going to be a little different today. So instead of really focusing on the theme park travel tips, I guess, should I say, I'm really going to talk to you about like what's going to be happening in the next couple of months. So I'm still going to be here for theme park travel tips, and I still have something for you today. But more today, I have a trip announcement. How much fun! So me and my family are going to Disney World at the beginning of June. So it's a little far away. This experience is going to be very different for me though, because I am a Disney purist. I always stay on property. I love the Disney bubble, and if you know, you know about the Disney bubble. It's just, like you're just immersed in the magic. I never really like stay off property and then like go to the theme parks. So like all of my advice really comes from firsthand experience of being inside that Disney bubble, staying at a Disney resort, and all the perks that go along with that. I really haven't been able to give much advice on like staying off property and then commuting. Well, guess what, guys? I'm doing this for you. Me and my husband and my daughter, along with my parents and my uncle, are going to be staying in an Airbnb outside of Disney. Now, just disclaimer up front, if you want to use me to, for your travel, I would love to be your travel agent. I cannot book you an Airbnb. I cannot do that. That's something, not to get into like all the logistics of it on the channel. If you want to know all the details of why I cannot book you an Airbnb, I will be happy to tell you if you reach out to me directly. But just know, like, I can do any Disney resorts. I can even do what we call good neighbor resorts, which is where there's certain places around Disney that have a contract with Disney to be able to offer you some of those same Disney amenities, but they're still at their price, not the Walt Disney Resort price. So there's still some perks, some perks that overlap, but just definitely not all of them. But we're going to be staying in an Airbnb, and then we're going to be going to Disney World for 2 days. Now, on this trip, we're going to be gone for a week, but we're only going to be doing Disney for 2 days. Now, we will be doing Disney Springs, if not twice, at least once, so you can see what's going on in Disney Springs. And I will be doing some vlogging while we're there, so you can really kind of see the experience of staying off property. And then of course we're going to stay on property again in the future. But this is going to be different. This is going to be different for me too. There are a lot of perks that you don't get to take advantage of when you stay off property, and I'm going to be navigating those and seeing how much they really do impact the magic of the trip. But so just to start out there, I do want to put like a small disclaimer out there that while I am on vacation, I am not really going to be as available as I normally would be. I try to really respond whenever I get emails or messages or phone calls or text messages. I try to do those pretty immediately, like as soon as I see them. But when I'm on vacation, I'm on vacation with my family. So unless you book and you're going to be on vacation while I'm on vacation, I will be there for you. But I am not really going to be doing many quotes or anything like that while I'm on vacation. I'm really going to try to enjoy the magic. It's going to be my daughter's first time in Magic Kingdom and Epcot. Oh, that's another thing. We're going to Magic Kingdom and Epcot. We are not park hopping. We're just going to do the 2 parks and just try to get the most out of it. But it's going to be my daughter's first time in Magic Kingdom, and I'm going to soak in all of those firsts with her. But yeah, so my park advice today is going to be mainly about the differences, pointing out the differences of staying on property versus not staying on property. It's a question I get asked quite a bit, like, what would I rather do? Now, hands down, I would rather stay on property. I am that person. I am that Disney adult. And a lot of people are concerned about it being more budget friendly if you stay on property versus not staying on property. And I will say that there is the essence of you get what you pay for. So whenever you stay on property, you do get certain perks, like at Disney property, Disney World, okay. You don't have to pay for parking whenever you stay at a resort. So the park, you did used to, there was a time where they implemented where you had to pay for parking for a certain period of time, but that's gone now. When you stay on Disney property, you do not pay for parking. And even if you decide to like stay there and then go to the parks, you still don't pay to park at the parks if you are staying on Disney property. Now, if you're staying on Disney property, of course, you can take advantage of the complimentary transportation. For most places, that's going to be Disney buses, but there's still something magical about Disney buses. A lot of people are like anti-Disney bus. I don't know. I think that it's a fun ride. Like, it's like your first ride of your Disney World trip. And there's something about the Disney buses. They normally have like all the different like character stuff. Like, I know there's advertisements everywhere, but like you can normally see like Disney stuff. There are certain like cast members that are like the bus drivers, and they are like amazing. They really make your trip. But there is something great about the Disney buses. Certain resorts have access to the Skyliner, which I've talked about in the past, where it's like the little gondola in the sky. And then you also have the monorail for the deluxe resorts that are actually near Magic Kingdom and Epcot. You have the monorail. Those are like the Disney transportation, and you can take advantage of those free. Now, of course, if you're there on property, you can, of course, ride the other Disney transportations. It's not like if you're not staying on property, you have to pay, but like they're available for you at your resort. So like, you know, you don't have to like ride there and then take another form of Disney transportation. Oh, there are boats too. There are boats for particular resorts. Again, those are mostly the ones that are like really close to Magic Kingdom. There's some boat transportation, and then also there's some boats that take you to Disney Springs from certain resorts around Disney. You also get the 30-minute early entry. Now, it used to be more. It used to be like an hour. This is pre-COVID. But the early entry, it really does give you an advantage as far as like getting further into the park in the morning. So like, you know, there's like this, once you get through like the check-in, okay, because anybody can like check in at whatever time, then there's like these line of cast members, and then you have to like be able to scan and prove that you're in a resort to be able to proceed further into the park. So like other people can kind of get in and shop per se, but you can't like get to where the main portion of the rides are. And really it is a great time to either get in line for the like most popular rides that you really want to get to, and just kind of save some time. Sometimes you can even hit like 2 to 3 rides in that 30-minute window if you're doing it correctly, like if you are rope dropping. So like, I mean, it's really a great advantage when you're staying on property. Little tiny side note, if you're staying at a deluxe resort or a deluxe villa, you also sometimes get the advantage of like this. It's not after hours, but it's like an extension into the evening. Like after the park closes, you can get like 3 hours extra if you're in a deluxe resort, and that's on select dates for like select parks. So it's not like you can just count on it every day. But early entry is every day, 30 minutes before the park opens for people staying at the resorts. One of the main disadvantages now has to do with the multi-pass, single pass system. Now, I am going to do a video in the future explaining multi-pass, single pass, premier pass, how all that works, okay? Because it's complicated. It needs its own video. I'm just going to be upfront. But the main thing is when you get to purchase and then select those first three on the multi-pass, or just buy a single pass in and of itself. So if you're staying on property, you can purchase it 7 days before like the initial start date of your vacation. So you can purchase it a week in advance and then pick your three, like the initial ones, and then, you know, you get to the park and then you can repick and stuff. But when you're not staying on property, it's 3 days. It's only 3 days. Now, that can be a huge disadvantage because all of those resorts, you know, some things might already be like totally taken up. So by the time that you get to purchase it, you know, your picks may not be on there. And then you're just going to have to decide whether or not it's advantageous for you to even get it. I am planning on getting it just to have that experience and see what it's like and what's available, like when you're about 3 days out versus like when you're 7 days out. Because like 7 days out, you can, I mean, not that you can and you're guaranteed to get everything, but your chances are much, much higher than if you're going to try to do it 3 days, because you've already had people for 4 whole days, you know, picking and deciding what they want to do and what they want to start out with. So, yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure that like when I get on there, like the main ones are not going to be available. And then we'll see if there's single rides available as well. But that's a really, really big one. I think that as far as like, you know, staying versus not staying, I really feel like we're just going to see some of the added costs like parking. Cause like, you know, like any place really, truly, you do have to pay a parking fee. If you're not staying at their property and you're not getting the complimentary transportation. So, I know for Magic Kingdom, it can be $30 to $45 just to park. And that depends on if you want like, you know, basic parking to preferred parking. You know, how much is that extra $15 worth to you? But you know, sometimes there is some Disney magic. My husband and I, back whenever we were on our honeymoon, we stayed off property and then just went to Magic Kingdom for 1 day, because we did a lot when we were there. And we had like just married signs and everything on our vehicle. And it was a very magical moment because the person that was like doing the parking for that day, he was like, you guys go ahead, have a magical time. And he's like, congratulations. So, you know, there still is some Disney magic in and of that, but you know, there's no guarantee. You need to plan that you are going to pay for parking whenever you go. So but I'm excited to really experience the other side of it, because like I feel like in a way I'm kind of spoiled because I've always really stayed on Disney property. Like my dad was the first generation Disney adult, shall I say. Like he was super into Disney. We lived in Orlando, and then whenever we went back, of course we stayed on Disney property. That was how it was. And he really instilled that in his daughter as she got older. You know, here we are. And so like I thoroughly enjoy it. I think it's totally worth it. But for this trip, since we're doing some other stuff while we're there, and then we're going to be doing some Disney, it just kind of made sense to not base it all in Disney, because we would have to leave the Disney bubble all the time to accomplish the other things we want to do. So it just didn't make sense for this particular trip for us. But you'll definitely see as we go forward in the future some trips where we do stay on Disney property and what that looks like. As we get closer, I will kind of share with you like how to select like dining and what that looks like whenever we get to that point. It doesn't matter whether you're on Disney property or off Disney property, dining is available at the same time. So like what setting reservations looks like. I am going to do some specifically for Disney with a toddler and packing for Disney with a toddler, because that is a whole new beast. I did do some packing, like, I guess, shall we say, with a baby a while ago. It never made it to YouTube, but I did like have a packing list for a baby. But this is really with a toddler, which is a whole new monster, because she is mobile and wants to be mobile, but can't always be mobile, especially in a big place like Disney World. So we have to rein back that independence a little bit. But I will be doing a Disney packing video. I'll do one like just for packing for like adults, and then also packing with toddlers. Some things I really recommend, because we do travel a lot. Me and my husband and my daughter, we do travel quite frequently. We just don't always go to theme parks, you know, like we might go to the zoo and stuff like that. And there's a lot of stuff that overlaps that I have in like our quote unquote Disney bag that I take with us whenever we go to really wherever, because it's just convenient to have. So there's a lot of fun stuff to come in the future, but really my travel tips for this week is just really, you know, find what works best for you and your family budget wise, and then, you know, don't miss out on some of those Disney perks. And even if your Disney World vacation needs to be like a once in a lifetime type trip where you save up for a while, you know, do that, you know, because there is something extra magical about staying at a Disney resort. And who knows, you might end up being like me and then get addicted once you get there. But there is something magical about it, and don't like count it out just because of the cost. You know, you can save up for it. There are a lot of discounts, and it is when you go. Remember, when you go makes a huge difference. Some of you that follow my Facebook and Instagram sees some of the like just quotes that I do. And I mean, when you go is such a huge factor. But really, until next time, that's all I got for you today. So I hope you have a magical day. Please be safe out there, and I will see you later. Bye.